All right, so if you're like me and you got a 2016 Nissan Rogue, and in the mornings in particular, you're backing up and you're rotating your steering wheel left to right to get out of your garage or driveway or something, and all of a sudden you hear this when you're moving the steering wheel left and right. I'm gonna tell you how to fix that. I'm gonna show you how to fix it real quick right now. Pretty easy. It's kind of a known issue with these models. They actually did come out with a new part. New and improved part, which I have here. I bought it from a Nissan dealership. They're about 80 bucks or so. Problem is your link here that connects from your steering wheel down and through your firewall. There's a rubber, I guess, gasket assembly or whatnot that it passes through, and over time it dries out and it gets kind of crusty, or it just is a poor design in the first place, which is why they came out with a new one. I'm gonna show you how to fix it. Super easy. You can use it with like a crescent wrench. Probably a better idea to actually use an actual correct size wrench. Anyways, open the door. Step one. Woohoo! We're already there. Then you go underneath here, and I'll show you. Pardon my hand. You're gonna kind of come in this region. There's your foot pedals, and you want to take this case. You want to take this off. I've actually already taken this off. I just kind of put it there so I could show you guys what's going on. These thread off pretty easily. If it's too tight to thread off with your hands, just get a screwdriver, flathead, or a coin. Okay, cool, we're back in business. You take this panel off, okay? Right here, here's the gasket we're talking about. Here's the dealio. You're gonna wanna make sure that your steering wheel is straight and your wheels are straight. And don't touch the steering wheel while you do this. Otherwise, it could be a little difficult to get it back together because the bolt is keyed through that shaft. So, loosen that bolt right there. You're gonna wanna break that big bolt. Break this one loose, and then from there you can actually just loosen it up. Spin it off by hand, finger, what have you. And it goes all the way through. It's kind of like a clamping bolt. There's no nut on the other side. It's just this part over here. This part is threaded, and so it just threads into that fitting. Now, one quick thing I forgot to mention right at the beginning. First thing you want to do, you want to extend your steering column all the way out as far as it'll go, meaning you want to pull it back, and that lever is just right here. You push it down and you can telescope it out. That'll give you the ability to do this and kind of like that. Okay, now you're a little disconnected. You could let that kind of hang. I wouldn't really rotate it. It will kind of come to rest, and you got some nice grease there, which is good. Now what you got to do is pop this sucker off. Okay, and I'm guessing the seal is actually going to come away from the housing. Yep, it came away from the housing there. So, you got that rubber seal. Okay, you got your new part here. I'm told it's an improved design, so let's hope it actually works. All right, let's pop that off. There's a little plastic deal. I'm probably going to need two hands to get that off, I think. All right, so got that off. I just needed two hands, and this is why. It's got a couple of little retaining clips. Let's see, this one kind of broke off when you're replacing it. It didn't take much force, but that was on the other part of the shaft too. So it comes off in a two-piece, essentially. But it's pre-assembled as a one-piece. So that's what it looks like. And then you're left with this, which is basically a big giant hole down in your firewall. So, assemble in reverse order. Pretty simple. Get the new one, slide it on, make sure it locks and clicks in place. Put it all back together backwards. So, hey, let's check it out. All right, a little additional note here. It is pre-lubed. There is a little bit of grease right there. So it's white. So you got that going for you too. Nice fresh rubber. Okay, so we're gonna throw that in. Okay, you know, the funny thing is too, is I have a lot of really good video equipment, but here I am on my cell phone. Just throwing this sucker in here. It's kind of ironic. Okay, so that goes on a little more, and you should hear a snap. I'm gonna need two hands again. Stand by. All right, so the new one's in. It did kind of take two hands because you got to push it in and you got to hear the click for those little retaining little flanges on the backside, because it's gonna click through and past your firewall and grab onto the backside of that firewall. From there, you basically pick this up, bring it back around, put it back on. There we go. Slide it in. Sorry, my son's in here.
Hi.
Looking for something. Hello. You're a big help.
I've been on YouTube before.
Okay. He's been on YouTube before. So from there, you want to put the bolt in, And when you put the bolts in, it might not go in right away. That's because you might have to pull it up and down to get that slot where that bolt is supposed to slide through. Once you feel that go past again, you should be able to pretty easily thread it in. And really this thing doesn't rotate, so it's pretty low probability that you're gonna get it one tooth off, because this bolt is supposed to align it pretty well. So you wanna make sure you got that taken care of. You tighten that, and from there you down. Oh, you know what I forgot? I'm talking so fast, I forgot something important. You're gonna want some thread lock on there. So let's take that sucker out. Put some thread lock. I'm using blue thread lock just because that's what I see on the bolt when I took it out, which is a medium strength thread lock. I'm gonna coat your threads with it lightly, and then put the bolt back in for real, and then torque it down. All right, got some thread lock on there. Hard to see. I swear it's on there. Don't worry about it. All right, now we're gonna thread that sucker in. And it really doesn't engage all the way through both parts. So it only engages the threads over here. So you want to put that thread lock at the bottom of your threads, not the top where your bolt head is. All right, so you can do that and then torque it down nice and tight. There's a torque spec. I'll let you know what it is in the comments once I find it in the manual. All right, so that's it. It's all back together. Torque down and panels back on, so everything's good to go. A couple of follow-on actions you're going to want to do. You're going to want to turn on so you got the power steering engaged and everything, so you can actually turn the wheel. This isn't really something that's going to be too important if you're not taking off the upper bolt to that linkage. But what you're going to want to do, just for the heck of it, to make sure that nobody in your family or you accidentally grabbed your steering wheel for leverage and turned it, or maybe you turned it and forgot you turned it, or whatever, you're going to want to just basically turn the car and then spin your wheel around, count the revolutions, bring it back to center, turn it the other direction, count the revolutions, make sure it's the same, so that way you know that even though your steering wheel is straight, you could be a full 760 degrees off. Which would mean that your tires are not going to be pointed in the right direction when you think they're supposed to be. So just double check that, get out of the car, make sure your wheels are straight, count the revolutions one way, bring back to center, check your straightness of your wheels, count the revolutions the other way, make sure everything's good. You should hear no more of that sound. Another little point, you may be able to get away with it if you don't want to fork over the 80 bucks. It was hard for me to fork over 80 bucks for some rubber. But what the heck, it is what it is. So you might be able to get away with just re-greasing that old seal assembly. If you do that, it might last you maybe like 6 months or something. You can use that as an option, see how it goes. Might last you longer, might not, but ultimately in the end you probably end up just wanting to replace it just because for longevity purposes and such. So any questions? If you think I missed anything, let me know. I'll put whatever information I can in the comment section. And good luck.